Our region of the upstate of South Carolina is a wonderful area, but like many places, has its own set of risk from dangerous weather. Our region, though considered fairly rural by some standards, does have critical infrastructure that is needed in the nearby metropolitan areas like Atlanta and Charlotte. The Oconee Nuclear Power Station provides energy to a large region of the Southeast, and Interstate 85 is a major connector for commerce throughout the region. So understanding the risks that we face is vital. Our region also has numerous gas pipelines, gasoline storage tanks, and trains that carry fuels and other vital goods. Though we are not in the snow belt, we do have our share of winter hazards. Typically, we seldom see large amounts of snowfall, but weather patterns put us at a high risk for ice storms. Rain, when temperatures are near the freezing mark, can form ice on roads, bridges, trees, and utility lines. As ice forms on the roads, driving conditions are far more difficult than in a regular snowfall. Ice on trees can cause limbs to fall, and on power lines can cause widespread power outages. Another risk we face comes from flooding. In Anderson County, we are not at risk for a direct hit from a hurricane as we are many miles inland. However, most damage and deaths from hurricanes are not as a result of wind, but from rather flooding caused by the remaining tropical depression. Here are just a few examples from our area. In October of 1964, the remnants of Hurricane Hilda were felt in Anderson, Oconee, Pickens, Greenville, and Spartanburg counties, where rainfall totals were in excess of 10 inches. In June of 1972, Hurricane Agnes tracked across Georgia and South Carolina, causing heavy rains, as did the remnants of Hurricane Babe in 1977. Hurricane Danny in August of 1985 brought a significant amount of rain to the upstate of South Carolina, as well as spawning 4 tornadoes. In September of 1989, Hugo, the most costly hurricane to hit South Carolina, made a direct hit on Charleston. This powerful storm tracked inland, causing major damage from flooding and wind all the way into the upstate. Hurricane Andrew in August of 1992 devastated Homestead, Florida, but ended up tracking up inland from the Gulf of Mexico into the Appalachian region. Bands of thunderstorms caused heavy rains in the upstate, totaling up to 7 inches in less than 36 hours. In August of 1994, rainfall associated with Tropical Storm Beryl totaled 5 inches in the Piedmont area of the upstate and 12 inches toward the mountains. Flooding on the Saluda River on the Anderson-Greenville County line was the worst in 60 years. In 1995, Tropical Storm Jerry tracked through the upstate, causing flash floods and dumping 10 inches of rain in less than 8 hours. Some rainfall totals exceeded 20 inches. In 2004, moderate to heavy rainfall associated with the remnants of Hurricane Ivan resulted in flooding. Also, tornadoes occurred in Lawrence, Anderson, and Oconee counties. These are just some of the storms that have affected our region. Another risk we face is from tornadoes. In the 60-year period from 1950 through 2009, an average of 15 tornadoes occurred per year in South Carolina. In the 20-year period from 1990 to 2009, the annual average was 28 tornadoes per year. This dramatic increase is primarily attributable to the implementation of the National Weather Service's advanced NEXRAD Doppler radar system, which is now able to pinpoint tornadic vortex signatures statewide, unlike the previous systems. During spring, tornadoes result from active cold fronts, whereas during summer and early fall, many are associated with the passage of tropical cyclones and hurricane activity. During November and December, it's not uncommon to have cold fronts and tornadic activity. Compared with other states, South Carolina ranks 24 for the frequency of tornadoes, 24 for the number of deaths, 23 for injuries, and 24 for the cost of damages. Now, when we compare these statistics to other states by the frequency per square mile, South Carolina ranks number 18 for the frequency of tornadoes, number 21 for fatalities and 18 for injuries. Anderson County, since 1950, has experienced over 30 known tornadoes causing millions of dollars in damage. On April 30th, 1924, the highest death toll in South Carolina's history occurred when 2 tornadoes struck. The paths of these tornadoes were unusually long, each over 100 miles. Together they killed 77 people, injured 778, and destroyed 465 homes and many other buildings, which resulted in multi-millions of dollars in damage. One of the tornadoes remained on the ground from Anderson County all the way to York County. On March 31st, 1973, a series of tornadoes broke out in Georgia and South Carolina. 7 people died as a result of one of the tornadoes hitting the Abbeville area. In fact, in 1973, 17 tornadoes were recorded in our region. Back in April of 2010, a team from the National Weather Service in the Greenville-Spartanburg area confirmed that 2 tornadoes touched down in the region, one near Fairplay in Oconee County and one in the Harper Road area near Pendleton. In August of 2008, 2 tornadoes swept through Clemson and Townville. These are just a sampling of a few tornado events that occurred in our area just in recent years. The truth is, tornadoes are always a real possibility, and how we plan, how we give notification, and how we provide information on what citizens should do in the event of a tornado watch or warning, and how we respond is absolutely vital. Unlike years past, we have more avenues to get notification when tornado or any other type of weather activity occurs. While NOAA Weather Radio is still an important part of the equation, we now have real-time weather alerts via text messaging. The new Common Alert Protocol system known as CAPS, along with the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System known as IPAWS, can be used to notify the public. With IPAWS, there's greater access on the local and regional level to the emergency alert system employed at radio and television broadcast facilities, as well as cable TV providers. All these new and improving technologies can be employed in the task of both preparation and response. Websites, videos, and other materials can be made available to the general public to help them understand what they need to do before, during, and even dealing with the aftermath of such an event. Websites such as our own Emergency Services website, our own Anderson County SafeTown, and even Google's new Crisis Response site are just some examples. It is also important that we learn to work with our many other partners in responding to damage caused by a weather event. Partners such as fire and rescue, law enforcement, EMS, street department and public works, even animal control, utility companies, and charitable agencies like the Red Cross become our vital partners in our community response. As leaders in our community, it is our joint responsibility to be mindful of all the risk, have a plan of action and response in place, educate the public of the real and present danger, and use all tools possible to minimize the impact of any type of weather disaster that occurs in our region. While not much can be done in terms of the physical damage these storms can produce, we can minimize injury and death with ample notification and a quick response. With any weather disaster or storm event, it's not a matter of if, it's simply a matter of when.
National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning.
There's an entire apartment complex that has been destroyed. We have a patient we're getting to load into a car. They will be assisted by the Red Cross, and they're going to transport to Station 7-1.